During the Cold War, the Soviet Union faced not only external threats from Western intelligence agencies, but also internal dissent from within its own borders. In the 1970s, the KGB launched Operation Reflex, a secretive and ruthless campaign aimed at surveilling, suppressing, and ultimately neutralizing Soviet dissidents who dared to challenge the authority of the regime. This operation revealed the full extent of the Soviet state's paranoia and the lengths it would go to maintain control over its population. By the 1970s, dissent in the Soviet Union was growing. Intellectuals, writers, scientists, and activists began speaking out against the oppressive regime, criticizing its human rights abuses, lack of freedom, and stifling bureaucracy. These dissidents sought to expose the harsh realities of Soviet life to the world, often risking imprisonment or exile to share their message. Their writings, known as samizdat, self-published works, circulated underground and painted a damning picture of the Soviet system. The KGB viewed this dissent as an existential threat. Operation Reflex was launched to stamp out this defiance and prevent it from spreading. The operation's primary objectives were to monitor dissident activity, disrupt their networks, and intimidate or eliminate key figures. The KGB used a variety of tactics, blending surveillance, psychological warfare, and brute force to achieve its goals. Surveillance was at the heart of Operation Reflex. Dissidents were placed under constant watch, their phones tapped, homes bugged, and movements tracked. Friends, family, and colleagues were interrogated or coerced into providing information. Infiltrators posed as sympathizers to gain access to underground networks, feeding intelligence back to the KGB. The scope of this surveillance was staggering, with thousands of agents and informants dedicated to the task. But the operation didn't stop at gathering intelligence. The KGB actively disrupted dissident activities through intimidation and harassment. Dissidents were frequently arrested on fabricated charges, such as anti-Soviet agitation or hooliganism. Their publications were confiscated, their meetings broken up, and their supporters silenced through fear. Families were often targeted as well, with spouses and children threatened or ostracized. One of the most chilling aspects of Operation Reflex was its use of psychological warfare. The KGB employed tactics designed to break the spirits of dissidents, making them question their own sanity and resolve. This included gaslighting, spreading false rumors, and even staging elaborate scenarios to discredit individuals. Some dissidents found themselves ostracized, not just by the state but by their own communities thanks to carefully planted lies. Exile was another weapon in the KGB's arsenal. Prominent dissidents were often forcibly deported to remote regions or sent abroad under the guise of humanitarian exchange. While this removed them from Soviet society, it also allowed the regime to portray them as traitors who had abandoned their homeland. For those who remained, the consequences could be far worse. Imprisonment in labor camps or psychiatric hospitals was common, where individuals were subjected to inhumane conditions and in some cases experimental treatments meant to cure their dissent. Despite the KGB's efforts, Operation Reflex could not completely silence dissent. Dissidents like Andrei Sakharov, Alexander Solzhenitsyn, and Natan Sharansky became symbols of resistance, their stories capturing the attention of the world. International pressure, fueled by the human rights movement, forced the Soviet Union to confront its repressive policies, though change came slowly and at great cost. Operation Reflex serves as a stark reminder of the oppressive lengths to which authoritarian regimes will go to maintain control. It highlights the bravery of those who stood against such oppression, risking everything to fight for freedom and truth. Their sacrifices continue to resonate, offering a powerful testament to the resilience of the human spirit in the face of tyranny.